Uh, Hello, my name is Aida Pontes. We are going to a different direction now. We are going to a different scale, and also we are going to South America. So I'm from Brazil. I'm from the Polytechnic School of the University of São Paulo in Brazil. And I'm going to present to you this work that's beyond fixed boundaries, participatory mapping of neighborhood areas of influence. So the context is that our research project is about neighborhood plans. So the municipality of São Paulo has in its master plan since 2002, it's foreseen the neighborhood plans, but there are no details about how to do it or what should have in a neighborhood plan. So the objective of our project is to develop a guiding instrument for the development and implementation of neighborhood plans in the municipality of São Paulo. It's coordinated by Professor Karin Marins, one of the authors of this paper, with also Emilio Bertholdo. And very interesting things that we are working with the government, with the municipal government, because our idea is that it make it a very like a practical instrument, and the municipality can really use it. To give you a bit of context of São Paulo, so São Paulo has more than 11 million inhabitants. It's a very diverse urban environment, like economically, socially, the urban also morphology. And as I said, the neighborhood plans are foreseen in the master plan since 2002. And we are trying to deal with the issue that's there is no definition of neighborhood in São Paulo. Although the master plan says like we should do a neighborhood plans, there's no definition about neighborhoods. And this is the main issue that we're trying to work on this paper. So São Paulo, the administrative division is that we have 32 subprefeituras and 96 administrative districts. But the districts can have up to 150,000 inhabitants. So it's not a neighborhood scale. It's not the scale of everyday life. So what we think about, so we are trying to design a way to define a neighborhood area of influence. We decide that we are not going to draw a border to work in a neighborhood, but we have to work on an area that's more like a daily base, a local area. So we considered accessibility. So we are considering like a walkable distance. Everyday life, like grocery shopping or going to daily basis facilities, the urban structure, and also the topography, which is a very important in São Paulo. And a main thing of this work is that we developed a technical area of influence, but we bring it to a participation workshop to see how it works with the community, with the residents. So for the spatial analysis, we did like isochrones, and we had 4 stages. The first one, we used pedestrian network OpenStreetMaps. Then, using origin destination data from the metro, we chose candidate seeds. These were anchor points for service, public facilities, transport stations, and urban activity. I need to tell you that we are also dealing with the limitation of data in São Paulo. Although São Paulo, I think in Brazil is the main like a city that has a lot of data, but still we have some limitations. The stage C, we did like a dual budget isochrone generation using either 10 minutes walking time, especially like when the topography is present, and or 800 walking distance threshold. And the stage D, we did the recursive expansion to cover the whole city. And for the participatory process, the idea was to bring the residents together, the people that live in the neighborhood, to see what they perceive as their neighborhood. Because for the literature, we see that what's main in deciding what's a neighborhood is the social cohesion. So how people really like perceive their neighborhoods. And the first thing about participation that we should always like highlight is that the community mobilization. We really need to make people like participate. We have an issue of making people like come from their daily lives to participate and to give their ideas. And we did a nice work with participatory bodies, with the public facilities, etc. And the participatory workshop was done in November with although of the work we did in mobilization, we had only 30 participants, but still it's a higher participation than other workshops we did. And we had a resident workers community. We divide the participants in 4 tables, and then we systematize the results, and I'll show you the comparison between the borders of the participants and the isochrones. So we did the walking isochrones, the participatory workshop, the residents draw the neighborhoods, we did an overlap, and then we have a neighborhood area of influence. Our case study is the Lapa district. So we try to focus in an area. So our mobilization, we used an area that was more close to what we call a walking neighborhood or local, we consider a local scale. And the Lapa neighborhood, the Lapa district, sorry, has a population of 75,000 inhabitants. So that's why I say that's too large to be considered local scale. The density is 59 inhabitants per hectare, and the characteristics of this neighborhood is a medium class localized in the west area of São Paulo, has a strong transport infrastructure. There's train, a metro line is arriving, and lots of buses. A mixed land use pattern. I will show you on the map how there's a important commercial area, and it's very interesting how the residents consider this commercial area in their neighborhood. And it's a place that's passing through urban transformation, verticalization due to the recent changes in the zoning and in the urban laws. So the results from the isochrones, like we can see there in the whole city, we generated 1,600 isochrones, but from them we have more than 600 what we call neighborhood candidates. That was this space that we consider that are close to a neighborhood. And we have more than 1,000, we have almost 1,000 what we call transition areas that are places, there are zones that overlap between adjacent neighborhoods. And just to remind, we have 96 districts in São Paulo. And what we consider as neighborhood candidates, it's more than 600. So this we talk a lot about the scale for public policies. If you're dealing with a district, then how these policies that are thought for São Paulo are really considering the daily life of people, the real issues. So we have a problem of scale, but because when we think about policies in the scale of São Paulo, this so huge city, we don't really consider the challenges that people have on a daily basis. So that's the importance of thinking about neighborhood plans and the local scale. Going back to the Lapa, our case study, we can see that the purple zones are these transition areas that I mentioned. And very interesting, the population is almost 20,000. It's still a large density, it's still like a huge population. But considering the São Paulo as a case study, I think it seems quite reasonable. So we can see the draws of the isochrones over there. And when we compare to the drawings of the population of the participants in the workshops, so the gray areas are the drawings from each table. And some tables draw more than one neighborhood. And the darker gray areas, the convergence that we had in the participatory design. We can see that's somehow close, it's similar to the isochrones we developed. So we think that the combination of this technical thought about neighborhood and the participatory design can be a good match to think about neighborhood plans. So another thing is that what people draw was coincident with what we thought about a walkable distance. So this place, this coincident place is very close to 10 minutes walking distance. And I'm going to focus, because my time is too short now, I'm going to focus on the land use. I mentioned that this area red, more red here, is a commercial area. And the table I was in, like, it was very interesting how people identify these commercial areas as the identity of the neighborhood, but they were not part of the neighborhoods. It's like this is a very strong commercial area. It's not like a local area. It's really like important for the region. So people consider more like what we saw in the literature, like more like a daily base or public facilities, schools, and healthcare as their neighborhoods, but not a commercial area that's too strong. To conclude, so the participatory mapping and isochrones are closely aligned. Neighborhoods are graded, not fixed. So our idea is to work in an area, not in a delimited, very restricted area. The perceived cores align with the 10-minute walk. This can support local governance and change how public policies are thought. And in this case, we worked only with a single workshop. It would be interesting to test across other contexts. Thank you.